Hello guys, welcome to Etheria Restart. Today I will be reviewing the game, and let me just say, so far it has been nice to play. What you're seeing in the background is sped up footage. Since the audio for the recording corrupted, I had to record over it. So yeah. But what I would like to say about this game is that the story so far has been pretty bog standard. I wouldn't say it's good, but I would say it isn't like dog. The graphics have been really good so far. You know, they're not Wuthering Waves or zenless level, but they've been pretty nice. And the gameplay, well, you know, it's kind of a standard turn-based gacha, but it has the makings of something that can be good. I want to compare it to Star Rail or Madoka Extra, because those games' turn-based system, especially in Madoka's, is bad. Star Rail just has an issue with, you know, power creep as of recent. So I want to say Star Rail's turn-based is bad, but you know, it just does not feel good anymore if you don't have the proper units, and and it shouldn't be that way. But that's going off topic. But what I would really like to talk about is the character designs. Man, they cooked. All right, they cooked with some of these. Even though, you know, you've definitely seen a lot of these character types in other media before. Like, I can't help but, you know, look at some of the characters and be like, oh wow, wow. Also, my luck was very terrible in this recording. You will see soon with the other summons I do on these banners. But I'd say one thing that gets me about this game is like it really is solid, but like, man, it doesn't feel like parts like drag on at times, you know? But it doesn't feel that bad. The dragged on parts doesn't feel that bad because you can get to the main system in the game, pretty quickly. They don't like pigeonhole you for that long compared to other gachas. Like FGO for instance. I wouldn't say it was as handholdy as like FGO, or as handholdy as I think HSR was. But I don't remember launch HSR tutorial. I don't know if I'll go and do it again, but you know, it doesn't feel as handholdy. So it isn't as bad. The dragged out parts doesn't feel as bad as some other games. Now, also, I would love to talk about the fights in this game, because it seems like characters have like this two-turn system based off their actions. As you can see here in the clip, some of them can go twice based off what you did last turn, and some of them can, and that's, you know, just basic turn-based design. But you know, you don't expect much from gachas these days. You know, you have your big gachas come out every so often. You know, stuff like HSR, Zenless, Withering, PGR. You know, you got that stuff that comes out. You never really expect much from the tiny companies that rise up. I'm not even sure this company's tiny. I'm pretty sure they made games before. I've probably just never heard of them. But you know, stuff, people that you never hear, you know, it really gets you excited because, you know, new competitors in the game, new competitors in the market. And that's always a good thing, because it actually forces these companies to, you know, get off their butts and do something. Like, you guys have seen what happened with Infinity Nikki and Love and D Space recently. Those communities are imploding because the developers realized, oh right, we're the only ones in the market. Let's take advantage of that and be super greedy. Man. But like I was alluding to, yeah, the system is kind of Persona-esque in this way too. But you don't get like advantages for ambushing, like in battle or whatever. You just straight up kill your enemies, which I find a nice thing. because sometimes games like this get boring because you have to like slog through every enemy, and it's just hard because you feel like, ugh, I gotta do this chapter, but my god, there's so many enemies, there's so many things I have to fight in between story beats that take like 10 minutes to get through. And you're just sitting here like, man. But that's not a problem in this game. As long as you get the advantage, you don't have to go through like unnecessarily long fights. And I find that great. I like Star Rail, because if you don't have Archer on in Star Rail, you just gotta sit there and fight everyone while going through these unskippable story beats. So your brain feels like it's just getting sludged with all this junk. Because sometimes you had a hard boss that requires like half your brain power to do, and then you go into a story beat that requires all your brain power to like understand sometimes, and you're just sitting there like lost because your brain drain, you don't know what to do. Etheria Restart doesn't have this issue, as you know, these combat encounters are pretty much optional if you're stealthy enough. You might say, well, Twitter, that's not a good system. You'd be right if it wasn't for the fact that sneaking up on your enemies is so extremely easy. It's crazy. I think Etheria Restart, if it keeps up with this, may be an HSR competitor in like a year or two. Even if they keep coming up with hype characters and find a way to, back up the story more. Because right now, like throughout chapter 1 or 2, it's just some pretty bog standard. We have these animuses and humans, and like they're at like each other's throats at this point. They're near each other's throats because of the virus that spreads through mostly animuses. Since humans, can't really contract it and turn into these zombie corrupted ethereal like creatures. So you have this political element going on as well, along with several like family elements, and it really meshes well together. But that's just the prologue, and I really can't judge a whole game based off its prologue. I will be playing more, I will be recording more. Depending on views, I will probably make this a main game. Because really, if this pops off, if Etheria Restart pops off and it becomes the next big thing, it's up there in the talks with HSR and Wuwa and Genshin, which I highly doubt will happen. I do want to be here from day one. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. At least. Ciao.